Okay, this is part two. I'm so sorry. I had to take that phone call. But anyway, so that's where we are now. And we're at the point now where we are at summary judgment in this case. I cannot tell you that it was easy. It was very hard. I had to deal with a lot of bias and prejudice in the courts. I had to deal with the court contradicting certain laws, certain guidelines for certain protocols. You know, credit acceptance. I'm not gonna can't say this. They got some protection in the courts. That's why it is so hard for you. That's why they're able to do what they need to do, or they're doing the corruption that they're doing, is because it is so hard for them to it's so hard for them. Nobody is really trying to get them. Their stocks is up right now. They have an excellent stock record, so it doesn't matter who's tooting the horn and telling them, look here, something is wrong with this company. They're still doing, they're still running a racketeering business. So, I'm here today because a lot of people was just asking me, Samantha, what do I do? I get emails like this. I get I get a phone call. I get a lot of YouTube. Samantha, how can I do this? How can I do this? Well, I'm gonna tell you, because it's no easy answer. It's no, you have a choice. You can fight them in federal court. You can fight them in state court, or you can file bankruptcy, or you can pay them. But either way, that's a monster that won't go away. It's not. They're not going to just take the vehicle and then say, okay, well, we've taken the vehicle. We're just going to go ahead and leave it alone. No. Credit acceptance is going to sue you. And they're going to charge on all that interest. They're going to charge on all that attorney's fees, court costs. And you may have been owing them $3,000, but when they finish with you, you're gonna owe almost $15,000 or $20,000. So I've been fighting them for what? How long? 2 years. So I'm probably looking at $100,000. Them trying to get $100,000, if more, off of me. But here's the catch. The courts, I don't know how it is in your state. I don't know how it is but I guarantee you, a lot of people ask me questions like, why didn't I file in Tennessee versus filing in Michigan? I filed my case in Michigan instead of Tennessee. And a lot of people ask me why. Because I filed in Tennessee, I filed in Michigan because in Tennessee, I couldn't be an e-filer. I couldn't train to electronically file in my case. I would have had to do it snail mail. And a lot of times when you do a snail mail, they already made a ruling before you even do anything. You get it 2 or 3 days later after they made a ruling on it. A counselor has a better advantage with you than I would. So I filed in Michigan, where I had anything that come through that court comes through my email. I can see it right when she posted. So they all during the course of my case, only thing they've been submitting was some affidavit from this lady saying that the payment history is more accurate than anything else. Their payment history is more accurate than anything else, and that and the contract. So they're showing the payment history, and they're showing the affidavit, and they showing a new payment history. Okay, so they got the three things: the contract, the payment history, and this affidavit. So you would think that would be real good at the case. Well, they proved their case. They got a payment history. They got a affidavit saying the payment history good. The payment history says that I owe them $17,334.34. Okay, which left a balance of 5,649.34. Well, okay, that would have been a solid case had they had also made sure that my credit report was the same way, and the payment history that they gave me before the case or during the case of the first one was correct. See, then you can say, okay, everything is lining up. But the credit report, my credit report says that I owe them $10,000. There's several payments missing from several months of the initial loan that shows that it was messed up. And then they had the nerve to say that out of the $10,000 they said I owe on my credit report, says that I owe them 5600, the same amount that they said that I owed the 17. So my question was that how can two balances, a 17,000, a 10,000, that that's two different balances, a $7,000 difference, how could it add up to be the same balance of 5649? Second of all, you say, well, okay, when you dispute your credit, the credit bureau, you have to take in all of that. The credit bureau took them off my credit 3 times. 3 times that the credit bureau took them off my credit. So the credit bureau took them off my credit. Credit acceptance kept putting them back on. Not only did they not put it back on my credit, they still put on the $10,000 that they said that of the original loan. So already that right there, because I disputed it 3 times, the credit bureau took them off 3 times, they continue to put it on. I had already won with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So here's a big question that really struck home. And for every case I saw, the plaintiff sued the dealer and credit acceptance. And the issue was credit acceptance a debt collector, or they was acting as a debt collector when they really was a creditor. Now that is a violation of the Debt Collection Act, because a creditor can't be a creditor and a debt collector at the same time. Well, what I did was I knew that they was being a debt collector. But how do you prove it? You just can't say they acting as a debt collector. You have to show that they was a debt collector. So what I did was I sued the dealer. When the dealer and the attorney came along and they were like, okay, we're what do we want to do? I immediately called them and told them I wanted to settle. And I said, well, how do I settle? That they say, well, how do you settle? I said, well, what I need for you to do is I want you to answer some questions. I already know the answer, but I need you to answer the questions. Answer them correctly. If you answer them correctly, then I will dismiss the case against your client. So what I did was I went to an independent person, and I asked them. I said, if you ever wanted to ask credit acceptance any kind of questions, what would you ask? And they gave me like so many, I think about 5 or 10. And then I created the rest of them, which made it 20, I think 20 some questions. And I did. And the dealer came back with the answer, came back telling me that credit acceptance, that warranty that's attached to your vehicle comes from credit acceptance. They use a different name. That's how they're able to try to disguise themselves from being a debt collector. And basically, he told me that credit acceptance is acting as a creditor and a debt collector. That's why during the whole course of the case, they could never show any kind of payments going to anybody, a warranty company, or underwriting company, or nothing like that. Normally when you get a warranty with somebody, it says underwriting under so-and-so, so-and-so. Credit acceptance can never tell you that, because the warranty is under credit acceptance. They're also the debt collector. They're also the arbitrator of it. So they're acting like a creditor and a debt collector. So already that was another thing. That was the game changer there. Because before I did this, the judge was more like, you are guilty. You did wrong, instead of them having innocent until proven guilty. You did wrong. No, you didn't pay this bill. No, you didn't do this. Instead of she saying, well, there's a possibility, even though I kept saying, I'm seeking an injunctive relief for my vehicle, because The can't right now. There's no you can't. No one can prove ownership of the vehicle. They can't prove ownership of the vehicle. They can't prove that they had a right to do anything. So how can you sit there and give them leeway when they haven't proved? They can't even prove it. Let them prove that this a valid debt. Let them prove anything. And I promise you, I mean, when we had the hearing before the magistrate in Michigan, and I basically knew that, you know what, they were like this, because how can you? Credit Acceptance has said that they gave me a rebate on a vehicle. Now, the Truth in Lending Act says that you can't apply a rebate on a used car. You can't apply a rebate on warranty services. So how you gonna apply a rebate to a used car and everything? Truth in Lending Act says that any time a goods or services is not delivered, the person has that promised you that had to eat the cost, even if they are a indirect person. Even if they didn't sell it to you, they still, under the Truth in Lending Act, if they did not deliver the goods, they owe you your money plus any interest and any years attached. They have to eat the cost. But Credit Acceptance saying no, they I didn't file a claim. Well, how can you file a claim on something that don't exist? So I had to be really, really creative about this because, like I said, it was, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to, at this point, I'm trying to have my property returned to me, and they didn't let me get none of my stuff out of my property. And I was dealing with the fact that, my uncle, I had found out my uncle, he had just passed, and, they had just, told us that, like, that day that he was going to hospice, and he didn't even really get to hospice. And that was my last surviving uncle. And he, before he, I didn't even have the funds to even get down there. And embarrassed to tell my family, it was like, I could talk about it now, but it was like, how can I get down there? Because they know me, and they know me as being in family, that I would, especially when it's somebody close to me, I'll put gas in my car and drive. I got places to stay and all of that. But my family know that I would, I was always been a family person. So when I did show up, everybody was more concerned about, me. Am I doing okay? And I couldn't tell them all of this mess. So anyway, back to what's going on. So I've that's what I had to deal with. And I had a lot of people that did affidavits that talked about other issues with their warranty and everything. And right now I'm at summary judgment. So I'm trying to see how can a court. I'm praying that she do the right thing. I'm hoping and praying. But the question is that how can a creditor have two different balances, have for two different original loan amount, one balance, can't prove, they coming up with all this different stuff. They keep holding the contract. They payment histories ain't matching up with the credit report, nor is it matching up with the other credit. How can they do all of that and still prevail? That's what I'm waiting on right now. I'm waiting on to see what kind of judge is going to happen in Michigan. I'm not gonna lie and tell you that I am not nervous. I am, because like I said, it'd be different if I didn't know my rights. But the Fair Credit Reporting Act says that once I filed a dispute against Credit Acceptance, then what can I do? That there, I don't even have to prove damage. The fact that they did it, and they did it intentionally, this is what my recourse are. So I have to ask. I'm gonna tell you, when something like this happens, you have a recourse. You have to decide what are you gonna do. You know yourself better than I do, and You can file. You can fight like I did. Uh, you can file bankruptcy. I wouldn't do a 13 if I didn't have a house, or if I would do. Well, you know what? I wouldn't do a 13. I'd do a 7. I wouldn't give credit acceptance the pleasure of if they did was doing this. Nah, I'm not gonna pay him. I wouldn't pay him. Nah. Credit acceptance was designed to get you back on your feet. And I encourage anybody, don't even, if you got, go get your car, go get your tote your note. Go get your tote your note. If you just want a car to get around, go get your little tote your note car. Don't go and try to finance this car, because the odds of you actually paying this car off is less than 1%. The odds of you getting a new car, even if it says it's new, is less than 1%. The credit acceptance approve their own cars, which attach a warranty to it. So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get a lemon car to start off with, and then they add the warranty. Then when they add the warranty onto it, that, you know what, they're not gonna honor it, because that's 100% profit. You financing a warranty, and you ain't paying out no claims, and then you repossess the vehicle. That's 100% profit. So, like I said, I really had to fight them, and I really did. It took a lot out of me to fight them, because, I had to sacrifice a lot of stuff, my health. But I guarantee you, I would be more than happy with the ear sound of this. I would, if you decide to file in any court, federal or state, I prefer it to be federal. I guarantee you, I will send you all my evidence for you to prevail. If you lost your vehicle due to a mechanical issue which related to a warranty shortly after you got a purchase, or if they messed your payment history up and then turned around and repossessed, I will send you my information for you to win. And I guarantee you, the work that I put into this, you will get an injunctive order. You will get whatever you want. Set it up for trial, and I guarantee you, you will win. You will win. If the judge is not corrupt, you gonna win. I did my homework. I did. And credit acceptance, because I'm pro se, credit acceptance thought that, you know what, they thought if they took the vehicle, and that I would give up. They thought that. But they should have made sure they dotted their I's and crossed their T's when they came up in there and got mine. Because I'm not letting this go. I'm not letting this go. Excuse me. So that's where I stand. So if if you and believe it or not, you can even file, even if you file a 7 or a 13. I'm not an attorney when I tell you this. You can still fight them in bankruptcy court as a consumer. You can, and I'll send you my information. I'll send you my information. So, like I said, it's just that, when you trying to, whew, I tell you, I fought a good fight. I fought a good fight. Everybody asks me, Samantha, did you have an attorney? No, I had to really do some serious legal research. I did have, when I was looking for an attorney, I had an attorney. I gave him my information in Michigan and in Tennessee, and they told me, well, shoot, you doing a good job. You got a great case. You have built everything up. So right now, this is my waiting point. I want to thank you guys, whoever came on or whoever looking at this. You can find me. My My email address is Samantha, Samantha, Rajapowski, RAJ is in jam, AP is in Paul, AK is in kite, SE at ymail.com. It's one word. And if you have any questions, or you know what, you're getting ready to file, let me know. But I guarantee you, if you want me to file, I'll help you. But like I said, I mean, I'll help you as a pro se. I'll do as much as I can, because, like I said, their attorney is cocky, and I'm a firm believer. I have worked with and worked for some very wise attorneys. Even when they were losing, they did it with dignity, they did it with grace, and they did it where, they still kept their reputation. It was how they did it. They were very honorable about it. They didn't like prolonging nothing, because they knew if they had lost the case, even with the pro se litigant, they said, you know what, I wanna I wanna do it with dignity and grace. This attorney that I'm fighting here right now, his name is Stephen W. King. He is not only cocky, is I guess his ego is more entwined in it, because he's a white. All I gotta say is, and I talked to a white woman about this. I said, she said, well, Samantha, you got all this evidence. She said, tell me what's going on. I said, I'm dealing with a white man with a degree. She said, no, you ain't got to say no more. You ain't got to say no more. His arrogance, his I guess white privilege is being tested now. Not his dignity or his grace or his white dignity. See, his white dignity is what he was supposed to get that privilege of in the courtroom, where he was more believable than me. Or he should prevail over me. But I want to tell you guys, just because you're not an attorney does not mean that you cannot fight your case. It does not mean that you cannot win. It means that you just got to do the work a little bit harder. You got to be a little bit more creative. You got to be a little bit more smarter. You got to think outside the box. And you got to say to yourself, I am not finna be a victim again. Credit acceptance made me a victim. I am not being a victim again. Now, again, like I said, a lot of people, have to go through people like credit. Some people, not like credit acceptance, but like other secondary companies, because, like me, I was in a bad divorce. It affected my credit. I didn't have a choice. Some people but you can't lump everybody in with everybody else. You have to be able to say, you know what, and don't sit there and lay down and let somebody run over you. These consumers, these creditors, when they report bad something on your credit, fight back. When they sit here and they misapply payments, fight back. Because I guarantee you, if look at Nissan. Nissan just got rid of somebody, but this was in Japan. This man was spending money. They got rid of him. And he was a top high profile. We cannot continue to let creditors walk all over us and say nothing. This is part of why bankruptcies exist. So I want to thank you guys for allowing me to look at my videos, for reaching out. Some of you guys, I can help you. But, a lot of times if you call me and you tell me I didn't pay it, I had financial problems, I gave them back the car, then you know what? You might want to consider an alternative, a Chapter 13 if you want to pay them back, a Chapter 7 if you don't want to pay them back, a Chapter 13 if you do. If your credit is already messed up and credit acceptance took it to the left, just go on and finish it off, file a 7 and get them off under and start. People look at you more better with a bankruptcy than they would delinquent and bad credit, believe it or not. Yeah. So I just want to thank you guys for inboxing me, emailing me. I want to thank you guys for giving me the support and that I need and that I'm asking for. I ask you to keep me in your prayers. Uh, uh, I just, but you know what? Getting off social media and saying they scumbags and stuff. That's just talk. You got to walk the walk. You gotta be able to fight. 'Cause that's because unless we just stop doing stuff and start letting the legislative know and let people know, the security exchange, the attorney generals and stuff, they're gonna always stay in business. So I thank you and I ask you to stay encouraged. Thank you so much.